Everyone knew Miss Edna. She was the kind of woman whose name alone made people sigh quietly before saying hello. Mid-70s, tight gray curls sprayed into place, matching church hats every Sunday, and a mouth that stayed sweet right up until it wasn't. But if Miss Edna was known for one thing above all else, it was her gifts. Miss Edna loved giving gifts, or at least she loved the idea of being seen as someone who did. What she gave, however, was another story. At Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, baby showers, Miss Edna never showed up empty-handed. She made sure everyone saw her gift. But the gifts were always wrong. Not, I didn't know your size, wrong. Not, I tried my best, wrong. They were painfully unaligned. Her niece Carla hosted Christmas dinner one year. Carla was modern, stylish, and worked in interior design. She wore neutrals, loved clean lines, hated clutter. Miss Edna handed her a box wrapped in shiny red paper. "Open it, baby," she said loudly. "I spent time on that." Inside was a giant ceramic clown lamp, red nose, painted smile, bright yellow pants, the kind you'd expect at a carnival in 1973. The room went silent. Carla froze, her smile stuck halfway. "Oh, wow." Her husband blinked. Her sister stared. Someone coughed. Miss Edna beamed. "I thought of you immediately," she said. "It's so artistic." Carla nodded slowly. "Yes, very." But Miss Edna noticed something. Carla didn't squeal. She didn't hug her. She didn't say, "Thank you" enough. The smile on Miss Edna's face tightened. At church, Miss Edna insisted on participating in every gift exchange. One year, she pulled Sister Lorraine's name. Lorraine was a soft-spoken woman who loved gardening, scripture journals, and herbal teas. Miss Edna gave her a half-used lavender-scented foot bath machine. The cord was tangled, the box was taped. Lorraine stared at it like it might bite. "Oh," she said quietly, "this is thoughtful." Miss Edna tilted her head. "You don't like it?" "Oh, no, it's fine," Lorraine said politely. But Miss Edna didn't miss the way Lorraine didn't plug it in, didn't thank her twice, didn't gush. Later that same exchange, Miss Edna opened her own gift. A simple scarf, soft, neutral. Her face dropped instantly. "A scarf?" she said. "That's it?" The room stiffened. "I mean, I thought y'all knew I prefer jewelry." People exchanged looks. Miss Edna sat through the rest of service with her arms crossed. Her sister Ruth turned 60. Ruth loved cooking. She collected cookbooks, hosted Sunday dinners, and talked about flavors like poetry. Miss Edna showed up late holding a plastic bag. Inside was a children's crayon set and a book titled Quick Microwave Meals for One. Ruth stared at the crayons. "Edna," she said slowly. "Why crayons?" Miss Edna shrugged. "You like colors." The table went quiet. Ruth didn't smile this time. She looked annoyed, hurt. But 2 weeks later, when Miss Edna's birthday came around, she expected a catered dinner, a gold bracelet, a spa day. When she received a thoughtful but modest gift card and flowers, she didn't hide her anger. "I guess that's all I'm worth," she muttered loudly. Over time, people started bracing themselves. When Miss Edna walked in holding a gift, smiles became polite, tight. People whispered, "What do you think it'll be this time?" Probably something she didn't want anymore. "She's going to complain about hers. Watch." And she always did. If a gift wasn't expensive enough, she sulked. If it wasn't flashy, she criticized. If it wasn't jewelry, she felt insulted. Yet her own gifts never improved. One Sunday, after church, the women hosted a small appreciation luncheon for Miss Edna. Despite everything they tried, they collected money, bought her a beautiful silver bracelet. Then she opened it, faked a smile, and said, "This small thing? Wow, is that all I'm worth?" People began to look nervous and became extremely uncomfortable. Then Sister Lorraine stood and said, "Miss Edna, we have something else for you." She handed her another gift bag. Inside was a mirror framed simply, with a card attached. Miss Edna frowned. "What is this?" Lorraine smiled kindly. "It's a reflection." The room was silent. Lorraine continued, calm but firm. "For years, you've given gifts that didn't fit us, things that felt like leftovers, things that told us you didn't see us." Miss Edna's smile faded. "But you always expected to be seen, valued and lavished even when some of the gifts you expected exceeded everyone's budget." Then Lorraine paused. "This mirror isn't expensive, but it's honest." Miss Edna looked around. No one was smiling now. No one was laughing. They weren't angry. They were tired. For the first time, Miss Edna didn't snap back. She looked at the mirror, and she saw herself. Not just her face, but her habits, her expectations, her entitlement. The room felt heavier than any gift she'd ever opened. She swallowed. "I didn't know," she said quietly. Ruth immediately stood up and said, "You didn't ask." The room went silent. The change over the next year, something shifted. Miss Edna stopped gifting junk, stopped regifting, stopped expecting praise. Her gifts became smaller but thoughtful: a cookbook for Ruth, tea for Lorraine, a simple frame for Carla, no speeches, no expectations. And when she received gifts, she smiled. She said, "Thank you." And she meant it. You see, life is about learning from experiences, and this experience taught Edna that a gift isn't about cost. It's about consideration. And when you give without seeing people and expect to be seen in return, you don't look generous. You look entitled. And in all honesty, true generosity starts with empathy, not expectation.